Right, we're back like nothing ever happened. We're green flag racing. Stu Patterson versus Peter May off the front. Stu Patterson dives it straight underneath Caleb Arneson. Looks to get some early street stocking in there as he pushes Peter May out wide and high. We restart racing there. Right, there were some issues in that one. Right, we actually get an attempt now to go around the track. Right, attempt number 2. The safety car is off. We actually get to see them now roll around properly. With a safety car in front of them as well. Say what you want. Improvements made every time here at Kiwi Factor. As we see that little red ute pull off as they get into 3 and 4. They come out the other side. We go green flag racing. Stu Patterson off to an amazing start. Peter May and Caleb Arneson make it 3 wide as once again it looks to get a little bit street stocky there for third. As Peter May still manages to hold on to that second place. He's pushing it nice and high and wide. Brandon Nivens trying to look to the outside of Peter May. The veteran now dives it out high and wide. And there's still contact being made. And Peter May has lost out huge. He was in 4th for a second, but he's fought his way back. As we go to... as we accidentally go to Burt, who's already out of this motor race. It's Caleb Arneson versus Brandon Niven now for 2nd and 3rd as we see Peter May get biffed off onto the infield as well. Not his night tonight as Niven tries to throw a slider. Caleb Arneson out the front now as Niven throws it in just a little bit too deep. This has allowed the pack to catch up onto the back of him now. It's going to be a full-on fight for 4th as Niven's now dropping back through the order. Of course, with these Burt Cardwell and Peter May pulling out of this race, it's a huge point opportunity for those off the back. As we see now, Richard Joy trying to make some moves on Corbin Bork. It's very hard to pass at tracks like these. Of course, I didn't even know Modifieds ran at the Glen, but here they are for the GP, under the lights nonetheless. And we see Niven gets a little bit checked up. Corbin Bork checks up further in the concertina. Further back, Richard Joy gets a little bit of front end damage. This has really forced Bryce Cross back further into the distance, out of contention for the race win. As we look back further up at the leaders once again, Stuart Patterson, he is in the lead. Caleb Arneson in 2nd. Brandon Niven 3rd. Corbin Bork 4th. Richard Joy 5th. Bryce Cross in 6th. And of course, our favourite man in 7th, James Profit. But laps ticking by now. We can't have too many more to go. Oh no, that must be race over. As I said that, fucking that's some timing on my behalf. No, we've checked the engines thoroughly this time, and we've already had a few people lose titles. Of course, tonight's the last meeting before Street Stocks and Micros, and a few people are getting a bit excited. We're already having punting and pushing at the back. Yes, my question is, if they've known this whole time that those motors were illegal, why have they only just been stripped now? Like, did they fail a random inspection just during the week? Or did we're already in talks of running the street stocks at Gympie after last week's meeting? Right. Yes, other thing you might have noticed is I've got the anti-booker bar deployed tonight. Right, here we go for race number 2. And let's grab the leader. Had a little bit of technical difficulties starting the stream. Decided I wanted to crash right off the bat. But it's Bryce Cross, Richard Joy, he's on front row. Burt Cardwell, James Profit, row number 2. Brandon Niven, Corbin Borwacker, row number 3. Caleb Arneson and Max Beal, row 4. Peter May and Stuart Patterson are your back row. It's only forward for them. As we see that, for the first time, the actually visible pace ute is off and rolling. Bryce Cross just trying to push the safety car around a little bit faster. Only 10 laps, I believe. The safety car is off. They're alone in 3 and 4. Bryce on the inside, Richard on the inside. They go green. Richard Joy doing his best to hang it around the outside of the 2NZ. Doesn't quite make it stick, but he's got the more speed down the pace. As we see Profit throw a massive slider into second. Trouble in the background. As we see Burt Cardwell is to the infield one more time. Peter May towards the back as well, as there's squabbling going on for the minor positions. The 1NZ of Stu Patterson looking to make up some points after DNFing in that first round. He's putting the pressure on the back of Niven. I believe that's for 5th. Sorry, it's for 4th. So just the edge of the podium. And as we saw in the first one, just one mistake sees these cars broken into the infield. And of course, that's a huge mistake there from Niven. Maybe some contact even from Patterson. Sees him up into 4th. I just wanted to check. Yeah, Burt Cardwell's still out on track after that huge pile up. He's looking to maybe just get some better finishing points, as he's just ahead of the leader Bryce Cross, who doesn't seem to want to lap him. Just seems content leaving Burt on the lead lap. Of course, there's no need to pass him, and there's no pressure from behind just yet, unless we see another massive slide job from Profit. course, Burt now gets out of the way. Does his best to stay out of the fight for these top positions. As we see now, Stu Patterson's right on the back of Richard Joy. He'll be looking to score even more points after that race 1 win. In fact, Richard Joy just gets out of the way, and that sees Stewart up into third, chasing down Profit in that Bay Park car ahead of him. Of course, early signs here at Woodford Glen. Looking good for Stuart Patterson in that 1NZ machine to take away another New Zealand title. As I believe he's done the job to finish in third. Of course, stayed very similar in order from race start. Bryce Cross, Profit with a massive slide job in early days to get second. Stuart Patterson in third, Richard Joy fourth, Caleb Arneson fifth, the real deal 2 Mickey Max Beale in sixth, seventh Peter May, eighth Corbin Borwalker, ninth Burt Cardwell, and in 10th Niven. Right, so now those first 2 races just set grids. Now it's for an A main winner takes all. Right, I've got some points after all this waiting. 10th, the real deal Max Beale on 18, and 9th, Burt Cardwell on 24, 8th, Peter May on 27th, 7th, Brandon Niven on 29, 6th, Corbin Bork on 30, and 5th, Richard Joy on 33, tied for 4th with James Profit also on 44, 3rd, Bryce Cross, 2nd, Caleb Arneson, and 1st, Stuart Patterson on 38. Yes. It all comes down to this, a 30 lap feature.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Right, we're underway. So this is for all the marbles, 30 laps. I just had to quickly double check. Watch the race leader. We won't go through the grid order as they are as I read through them. The safety car is rolling through. Stuart Patterson on the outside, Caleb Arneson on the outside. Of course, I think we need to get the cams checked on that 9C car. We know what those Christchurch boys are like with their high rev cams. They're into 4, they'll be green any second now, and they're off. Caleb Arneson to the outside. Doesn't leave a lot of room for the 1NZ on the outside. He sends it in deep, and now the pressure's on. There's 30 laps to do it. 30 laps to do it, Stuart. Try and get by into that race lead to get another national title under your belt. Of course, Bryce Cross just tightly in behind Stuart Patterson. Of course, a whole 30 laps worth of racing. A lot of time to leave the pressure on. Caleb Arneson's not able to drive away from Stuart. So it's going to be a lot of pressure as we see the slide job come early. And it's Stuart Patterson into the lead, that 1NZ Mobile. He's into that race lead. And now as we watch further back, Caleb Arneson, he's now in second. Bryce Cross is putting the pressure on. Richard Joy's not too far off as well. He'll be looking to get a national title for himself this season. Of course, Bryce Cross, he would have witnessed that slide job move, and he'll know what he'll need to do, as they're side by side for basically both set of corners. No one really able to eke out much of a lead. Stu's starting to pull away through the fighting behind. Of course, now he's got 0.3 of a second of a lead, which doesn't sound like much, but considering just car placement and corner exit speeds, it just looks a lot bigger, especially considering that Bryce is right on the tail of Caleb as well. There's slight contact made as Caleb Arneson checks up weirdly in the corner. Might have been a bit of a diversion tactic, Fernando Alonso style. That little check-up, that's allowed Richard Joy to put some pressure on the back of Bryce Cross now. However, it has cost him some time to the 1NZ car up ahead. Of course, we see Peter May further up into the distance. Clearly, he's been the victim of some carnage that we've spud hubbed while we've watched these race leaders. course, lap cars now starting to come and play. Peter May will want to stay out of the racing pack, and he does quite well to just jump down on that pole line. Of course, Stuart Patterson, he's well and truly just made a gap for himself. Caleb Arneson is the first to make a mistake up the front. He's gone in too deep. Bryce Cross, he's through in the second now. And Caleb Arneson, he's now on the edge of that box. As we see Bryce Cross now, as it's 1NZ, 2NZ in the lead. Next of the... Oh, he's done it again. He's gone in deep once more. Caleb Arneson's no longer getting a GP title. He's down into fourth. He sends it in too deep. He's going to lose out to Corbin Bork here as well. He's dropped like a stone from second place all the way down to sixth. You would hate to see it. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. And as we see, he just absolutely killed someone in the background there. Let's get an action replay on that. Caleb Arneson pushing Corbin Bork wide. Continues to push him wide. Still side by side. Tries to send the slider and just absolutely murders the car ahead. Now Richard Joy, after witnessing a murder, is now trying to hold down third spot against the hard charging Caleb Arneson. Maybe his tyres have gone off. Who can really say? As we look further back afield, Max Beal, he's the next one in fifth. And then we go back to Profit and Peter May, who's battling it out for the minor positions. Of course, we see Corbin Bork in that heavily damaged car on the infield. But it's still the Stu Patterson show. Anything can still happen. There's still plenty of laps left on the board. At most, 15 laps, as we can see that Burt Cardwell's 15 laps down. But now, Stu Patterson, he's only got a minute gap to Bryce Cross, who's taken a look up the inside. He's made it work. Patterson's just holding the outside there, but Bryce temporarily in the lead of that motor race. Richard Joy's still in third, and couldn't have happened to a better person, Caleb Arneson, in fourth. Still, laps ticking by. I'm just going to quickly check for myself. It's only 4 to go. Still a lot could happen in this race. Caleb Arneson's kind of checked out into his own box. It's left Profit up into fifth, who collects the back of Peter May and almost causes carnage up the front. That really almost helped out Caleb Arneson in fourth. Try to get back on the podium. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Yeah, it's all closed back up now due to the interference of lap cars. I believe that's white flag that time round. It's all to go on this one last lap, I do believe. I believe that should be Stuart Patterson, your New Zealand GP champion. Should be. So, there you go. That's your top 3 for this first half of the stream. Stuart Patterson takes it out. Bryce Cross in second. Third, Richard Joy. Fifth, Profit. I am going to quickly tune back into the driver's chat. Alright, I'm going to bring that music back in, because last time I tried swap between the two mods, issues. So many fucking issues. Sorry, I've been muted this whole time without really thinking about it too much. I finally actually got an explanation of why they got their titles stripped. Which is about time I actually figured out, because I read the rules and I read the complaint. I didn't quite understand it. That's because I'm a street stock driver. Right. As per rules, need to be within a second of the leader if they're doing qualifying again. To be fair, I doubt any of the people here will actually have an issue. Is the session actually set to private? Because normally when it's private, I can't see everyone on track.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Right, Peter May on pole. Right, they start rolling round. Peter May and Max Bill off the front row. The pace shoots off. We know they go quite early into 4. They start the roll around. They go green. Max Bill checks out. Early doors. He runs high. There's all sorts of carnage there as Peter May's biffed off into the wall. I dare say that might be a restart worthy event. No calls have been made yet. As of course from front to back to front. Challenge starting now for Pete. But it's the real deal too. Mickey MacBeal in the lead as Corbin Bork looks to get a bit of revenge early on Richard Joy. Spins him out of the way. Taps and spins Caleb Arneson a little bit. Unsettles his car. Couldn't have happened to a better person. I can hear some fucking real wheel work off in the background as they go 4 wide there momentarily. It doesn't quite work out. It's all a little bit too hitty and tappy there. Depends on what your definition of 4 wide is there, but they do it again. The real deal Max Beal's gone. He's well and truly off into the distance at this point in time. He's got half a straight's worth of lead to the 2NZ of Brandon Niven. Caleb couldn't happen to a better person, Arneson, in third. As we see Corbin Bork just get it wrong a bit, and it's carnage in the background. As the lap's ticking by, I need to get a way of seeing what the lap actually is because I'm just running it off my rough head. I believe this is last this time by. No, still another 4 to go. But the real deal Max Bill, either way, he's looking to make the most out of his front row start in race 1 as we've got 3 cars parked up on the pole, which is going to be a big hindrance for him as they still score finishing points. As Caleb Arneson He gets dropped down the order. He's back down to 4th. He gets a bit of run down the straight. Tries to push Bryce Cross out of the way. Couldn't have happened to a better person. As he tries to slide job again. Bryce Cross looks to try and make the better exit work. As it's all kind of chaos now for this second spot. As we see Brandon Niven throws an almighty slide job. Blocks him up. Biggest winner out of this whole situation, Bryce Cross, who's now back on the doors, but it's too little too late. The real deal, Max Beal takes out heat number 1. Right, we've got a 2-minute bell. I'm going to grab beer. Richard Joy will keep you entertained.
Have you seen the seal? Oh, and I feel like the city's on fire. And when I feel like confessions untold, I run wild, 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 I run.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
They're in 3 and 4. They go green, nice and early, straight on the gas. The 1NZ just in behind the 2NZ of Niven. Caleb Arneson on the outside, looking to make up some gain in third as Bryce Cross looks to try and hold on to that position with a huge slider. It's contact galore as they must be confusing these for streeties once again. Bert Cardwell just holding on to the back of this lead battle pack. You see Stu Patterson biffed out wide, just got undercut there by the 2 Saloons on the pole line. As it's Bryce Cross, still looking to try and make his way out of 4th. Niven leads it from Arneson. Patterson close in behind in that 1NZ machine. As we see another huge slide job attempt from Stu Patterson. Sees damage to that car. I believe it's still good. Looked like he was pulling the infield to get race over. But this has allowed the real deal Max Bill up into contention now. He's in 3rd ahead of Caleb Arneson and just in behind Bryce Cross. If he's able to make this line work, he'll be right up there come race start time. This is why I prefer a points format instead of an all-in or for one 30 lap feature, because these heat races really allow it to be mixed up, really shaken up of the order. Of course, couldn't happen to a better person down in 4th. That's actually race over. Max Beal finishes it up Beachland Speedway style in the crowd. We're going to have a little short break while get a couple take a piss, do a cone.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Right. The real deal Max Beal on pole. Right, and they're off. Behind the little red safety car. Safety car's pulled off. They're in 3. There's a little bit of carnage down the back. But the real deal, Max Beal, he's off to a start. He's up the inside of Niven. He just slots into second. Holds the same line as him to try and hold on to that second place. Try and get a national championship for himself. And as we see Caleb Arneson, he falls under pressure down into 4th. Behind Bryce Cross. That's your top 3 as they start this 30 lapper. Lots of time still left to be used up here as Max Beal, he dives it in far too deep. He gets on the slick stuff out high and wide. He's now dropped down into 3rd. Caleb Arneson just not able to make the pass stick on him. Max Beal holds his line well and truly steady. He's just out too deep once again. He puts the nose back in, letting Caleb Arneson know he's still there. He's not really ready to give that position up as he tries to slot back underneath. Caleb Arneson just pushes him to the infield as we look ahead to the leaders now. Bryce Cross, he's all over the back of Brandon Niven. The real deal, Max Beal, he's up the inside of Caleb Arneson. He's using his doors just as much as Caleb is to try and hold on to that position. It's switchback after switchback between these two. Max Beal there just gets a little bit aggressive with the front bumper as Caleb Arneson just slows up mid-corner. And we're back to watching these two leaders go at it. Bryce Cross versus Brandon Niven for this top spot. These two leaders going at it, going after it. Both jostling for position. Niven just sends it a little bit high. Bryce puts the nose in, but there's no pass to be made just yet. As laps tick by, still a long race left to go. Anything can happen for any of these drivers. Some are concerned about whether or not they have enough fuel to make it to the end. As we look further back down the field, Stu Patterson trying to make his way through. He's up in the 5th. Corbin Borwalker just in behind. Profit further back. Burt Cardwell in that nice black and green machine. Richard Joy, he's right down the back. And Peter May having a bit of a mare right down the order. But as we see Niven now, he just gets the wall a little bit there on exit. Bryce Cross still looking to make his way through. There's not really much to talk about going on. It's all single file racing through the field. Peter May just not quite having the time of it. He'll be looking forward to swapping over to the street stocks. But still the 2 GM in the lead from the 3NZ. 33C right down the back. Of course, Max Beal still looking to put some pressure on. Right, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for tonight's saloon racing, and that is it from the stream. Of course, Brandon Niven came across the line in first, Bryce Cross second, Caleb Arneson third, Stu Patterson fourth, and James Profit fifth. That is it for the stream as well. I'll maybe catch you all on Monday. Really depends how this weekend goes.